Welcome back. We are taking another look at the Democratic primary for president. Right now, we have 39% of the precincts reporting. Sanders still holding a narrow lead over Joe Biden right now in Texas, 29% of the vote versus 27%. But again, only 39% of the precincts reporting right now. So that could change once all those numbers come in tonight. Jack Fink joining us right now. And we were just talking about this, Jack. I mean, beyond Texas, this has been a good night really for both of them.
Yes, it has. I mean, Bernie Sanders obviously won his home state. He's likely to win California. And Joe Biden has won a number of states. He's leading in the delegate count. But the big question is Texas. And what's going to happen here? We knew it was going to be the tightest race in the United States as far as Democrats are concerned. There's Biden speaking in Los Angeles earlier. I think one thing we're going to have to keep watch of is as the live votes, the today votes keep coming in, does Biden come back and win? We saw the momentum shift in the last couple of days.
Well, can I just say that from the top of the show to now, I think it narrowed 2%.
Yeah.
It's narrowed by 2% since the top of the show tonight.
Yeah.
No surprise, President Donald Trump is the runaway winner in tonight's Texas Republican primary. You can find that among the results at the bottom of your screen here and, of course, at KXAN.com.
But Texas Democrats are very divided on who they want to face him in the general election. KXAN's Wes Rappaport is live for us at the Texas Democratic Party headquarters in Austin with more on that. Wes.
Hi, Robert and Sydney. And Texas Democrats watching and waiting as these results come in. It's more of a war room and not so much a watch party as they track the results here at the Texas Democratic Party headquarters and game plan for what is next. You know, it's more than 200 delegates on the line here in the Lone Star State, but there's also a trickle-down effect here in the State House and with local races. Who wins at the top of the ticket for Democrats could create a rift in the party. Sanders and Warren and their left-wing progressive supporters leaning one direction, and Biden with his moderate supporters staying closer to the center. Now, we talked with State Representative James Tallarico tonight, who says that he is encouraged by what he's seeing. He says that, you know, a healthy primary process is the sign of a healthy party, and so he says that this is good for the state of Texas.
Live across the Bay Area with results and reaction to the important races. In the race for the White House, big night for Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders.
Biden is projected to win Massachusetts, Minnesota, Arkansas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Alabama, North Carolina, and Virginia. And tonight, the AP is projecting Sanders will seize victory in Super Tuesday's biggest prize, California. He also won Vermont, Colorado, and Utah.
When we began this race for the presidency, everybody said it couldn't be done. But tonight, I tell you with absolute confidence, we are going to win the Democratic nomination. And we are going to defeat the most dangerous president in the history of this country. We are putting together an unprecedented grassroots, multi-generational, multiracial movement. It is a movement which speaks to the working families of this country who are sick and tired of working longer hours for low wages and seeing all new income and wealth going to the top 1%.
On top of his 8 wins, Biden still has a shot at the night's second biggest prize.
He's battling Bernie Sanders for an upset victory in Texas.
Folks, it's still early, but things are looking awful good. For those who've been knocked down, counted out, left behind, this is your campaign. Just a few days ago, the press and the pundits had declared the campaign dead. And then came South Carolina, and they had something to say about it. And we're told, well, when it got to Super Tuesday, it'd be over. Well, it may be over for the other guy.
KPIX5 political analyst Melissa Kane joins us now. Melissa, Sanders handily won California, but arguably Biden won just as big, especially if he does, in fact, take Texas.
That's right. So winning a state like Texas, in addition to the other southern states that he seems to be doing really well in, I think really feeds into the narrative around him that he is someone who's able to win in sort of more diverse places, win in the South, win sort of in non-traditional Democratic strongholds, and that plays into the issue of electability. He's saying, look, these are folks that I can actually bring in that appeal to, that I appeal to. But I will say this though, California, I wrote it down. California has 416 at-large delegates, not at-large delegates, pledged delegates available. Texas only has 228. And so while they are two of the largest by far, California is still the much bigger prize than Texas. Texas is, to some degree, while very delegate heavy, also is really a totem that shows I win where it's diverse, I win in places that are not traditional Democratic strongholds, and I think that fits very nicely with Joe Biden's narrative as to why he should be the nominee.
Right. Thank you, Melissa. We'll check in
thank
with
you
later in the show. A night of celebration for Bernie Sanders supporters, at least here in California. KPIX5's Joe Vasquez is at the candidate's campaign headquarters in Oakland. Joe?
Yeah, and the victory party is on right now. You can see it's karaoke time here at Bernie Sanders headquarters here in Oakland. Their candidate winning California, so there's been quite a celebration tonight. But Joe Biden prevailed in other parts of the country, and frankly, that has some Bernie supporters uneasy.
Joe Biden, he's, a very famous man, that's all I can say. He's got a long track record of being in politics, but Bernie has a track record of getting things done and having moral conviction. And it's going to be a strong rivalry between the two.
We saw a lot of enthusiasm tonight among younger voters. There was a long line at the poll near UC Berkeley campus tonight. Some of these folks so young, they were voting for the first time. So the big question tonight, can this youth vote that turned out in the primary continue to gain momentum as election season rolls along? Reporting live in Oakland, I'm Joe Vasquez, KPIX5.
All right, here's a look now at the GOP race for President Donald Trump. Well ahead in a landslide, 93% of the vote there. Bill Weld, 3%. Joe Walsh, 2%. 45% of precincts reporting. Definitely winning by a landslide.
For this projection, Joe Biden is your projected victor in the state of Tennessee. Polls were supposed to close there at 8. Everything was held over till 9. This is 9 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour here on the East Coast. Remember that state, the Nashville metropolitan area, the Germantown neighborhood, reeling from a terrible weather event, a tornado last night. The death toll stood at 25 when we came on the air. So that has taken up the attention in so much of the state today. But we'll go back to Mr. Gibbs in a second.
And streaming on CBSN Bay Area, we're counting up the votes from those key races across the Bay Area and California. Good evening. I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. And I'm Elizabeth Cook. But first, let's start with the up-to-minute results in the Democratic presidential race here in California. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders has been declared the winner now with 30% of the vote, followed by Biden with 20% and Michael Bloomberg with 17%. Elizabeth Warren took 12%, and Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar, both which have dropped out of the race, 9% and 5% respectively.
Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders have come out on top. Everyone else far behind.
Yeah, this morning, CBS News has yet to project a winner for California and Maine. Now, we just got the results for Texas earlier this morning. CBS News' Rena Roy joins us now here in studio with an update on all the numbers. Rena?
Yeah, Chris and Mary, as you said, the results have been coming in overnight into this morning for two of the nation's biggest states, Texas and California. Just about 2 hours ago, CBS News projected Joe Biden will win Texas. It's the second biggest prize with 228 delegates at stake. And California, the state with the largest delegate haul, is trending toward Bernie Sanders.
They don't call Super Tuesday for nothing.
It was a big Super Tuesday for former Vice President Joe Biden, who won the most delegates in more than half of yesterday's contests, especially dominant in the South, including Virginia, where he swept to victory. Saturday's primary win in South Carolina seeming to give him some momentum.
We are very much alive.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders won his home state, plus Utah and Colorado, remaining confident in his chances of making it to the White House.
You cannot beat Trump with the same old kind of politics.
It was a disappointing night for former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg, his only win in the territory of American Samoa, despite spending $500 million campaigning. A Bloomberg aide says the campaign will reassess today, but it's unclear what that means.
I'm in it to win it.
As for Elizabeth Warren, the fourth presidential hopeful still in the race, she came in third in her home state of Massachusetts, but she's holding out hope.
Cast a vote that will make you proud.
A CBS News exit poll shows 60% of voters picked a candidate they believe could defeat President Trump.
I voted for Elizabeth Warren. Would be very happy to vote for Bernie.
I voted for Joe Biden. And California's Democratic Party says it may be weeks before the final tally is known there. Meantime, voters in 6 states head to the polls for another round of primaries next Tuesday.